So guys, do you have any questions before we start? Did someone worked with the homework? Kind of homework. So did someone get all the flights from Budapest?
Mihaly, can I ask about the previous assignment?
Yes.
Thank you for checking, giving feedback, etc. But about the boxes, I think you haven't mentioned about inside the exercise requirement about the boxes, but you reduce it. I mean, you reduce it not significant amount of mark, no problem. But I just wanted you to ask whether in the next assignment, can you please specify, okay, for these specific marks, we would be just to target fully 100%, so that we will not miss any point.
Cool. So the next assignment will be, I wanted to talk about at the end of the class. I will talk about end of the class. And you will see it will be a bit different. Then basically you will do whatever you want to download. But before you start, you have to approve with me. So you are going to write me an email that you want to download this kind of data, and you will, so basically you have to download it and make some analysis on that, doing some charts and so on, and it will be not that difficult. It's also depending.
Do we know the deadline yet?
Yes, we will see that you have to finish before the last class, and on the last class also would be nice if just some of you, let's say in 10 minutes, will show what the person got. Okay, but later, end of the class. Okay. So let's start with opening IMDb and just write any of the movie that you want. Let's see if I'm click there, then we can find the movie, the top list. Okay, let's say this one. So if I click here, we get a lot of data which showed here and also is in the background. So I ask you to press F12 and let's check what we got. You will be a bit surprised that has mixed the HTML and the JSON. So if you refresh, then you are looking for that number. So basically you can just delete the reference, just refresh again. And this is the HTML, which contains all the information here that it showed to you. And let's analyze a bit. So I'm stopping the recording, the network, and just let's check what is here. So you can see a lots of functions and variables and HTML things which are not that interested, but if you scroll down a bit, you can see lots of images. Great, but something is a bit different here. Check this. So there is a JSON inside an HTML. So basically you just download it with read HTML. You can get an HTML document which is a text, and inside that text there is a JSON. This is a typical JSON, right? Let's check if it is truly a JSON. So I'm just coming here, so it's end with the script, and just scroll up, and try to find the beginning of it. Just Ctrl C, go to JSON viewer, paste the text, and yes. So what we got here is actually a JSON data inside the HTML, which looks great. So there is a genre, which is a list, and there are actors, 3 actors. showed here. There are directors, creators. So I think it's really cool. How can we get this data? So try to get it. Just Control C the URL, open an R script, and please go to web scraping project, open it, and if you have it, that's great. Oh, sorry. Here, and load the package, the airvest, the data table, and also the JSON light. Great. So just read the data into a T document. Read HTML. It's very easy. Okay, and write it out. And let's check if the JSON, what we are interested in, it is on the data that we just downloaded with the read HTML. Okay. So write dot HTML and a T, and let's read T dot HTML. Great. And if we were coming back, we can see that okay, now we wrote it 1st of December.
Can you share the link on Slack?
IMDb, and just find any of the movie that you are interested in. It doesn't matter the link. And
I opened the same movie, but in network I couldn't find the JSON file from the network tab.
Because it's not okay, that's great point. So because this is not in the network tab, or maybe it is. Yeah, so if you're going to the network tab and you click for the title, so there is a title here, there is an ID of it, and if you click for the document, it has also header, preview, and the response. So in the preview, basically you can check the whole HTML, and in the response, which is an HTML document, has the data, has the JSON inside. Could you find me?
I found it. Yeah, I found it. Thank you.
Okay. Everyone found it? Okay, great. Thank you. That was a great point. Thanks. Okay, so just read it and just write it out and just open in the editor. And this is exactly that you saw on the network tab, and the JSON is here. And there's a type application LD JSON. This is the type of the document, of the element that we want. And there is a very simple way to get it. You just basically, we are going to use XPath. And yes, so I will just copy, and this is that I will share. Okay, so T, and we will just write HTML node, actually just one, or we can write node. Okay, and instead of CSS path we use XPath, and it's written that / script, basically it is this one, script, then yes, so this is how it looks like. You have to use brackets, square brackets, then dot at type equal application LD JSON, and this is this one, application LD plus JSON. Basically this one, you have to do it. Script brackets at type application LD plus JSON. Okay, let's see if we got it. Yes, so it's likely that we have it. And after, what we have to do is just getting the HTML text of it. HTML text. And we have the JSON here. So we get the JSON text, and if we want to see in the JSON in a list, what we have to do, just basically from JSON. Right, this is equal to df. Great. And actually it's not df because it's a list of 17, because it's not a simple data frame structure. It is, so it has some data frames, for example the creators. So if I'm coming back here and just writing df dollar, and you can see that it has some list, some data frames, some vectors. Okay, and the creator is a data frame. So the XPath work in the following way. So you have to write script, which stands for this one, and then use square brackets and at, and after just write type equal with the JSON type that you have here. It has application ld plus JSON, and if you scroll down a bit, it has one more JSON. I guess I'm not 100% sure. So just write Ctrl F, and you can also start to look for application ld. Okay. Yes. Oh, so it has also an XML document, and just this one. Okay. But there will be some other page what we are going to check, which will have different JSON, and the ID of the XPath is this one. So this is that you have to just copy if you want to get the JSON. Is it clear what we did just now? So we opened an HTML, we downloaded the text, and with XPath we could get the JSON object which is embedded into the HTML, and we can work with it as a list here. Is it clear?
Can you repeat what XPath do?
Yes. So XPath is so for example, if you don't write XPath here, that in that case the HTML node will select with the CSS selector, just like this one. So if you click here with the CSS selector, so this is how you find the ID of the element. Okay, and as you can see that you can also switch to XPath here as well, and this is the XPath of that element. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure that how the whole things is selected with XPath. So I'm sure that there are classes of that, let's say more than hours to know everything how this XPath work. I'm not, so I don't know exactly, but what we need to get will be enough to just have the script and the application JSON, and otherwise just use that CSS selector which is here, which has a gadget, and you can get it easily. So that's the way how you can get some HTML node. So if you press F2, then F1, you can see that either it is going to be a CSS path or an XPath. Okay, so node to select CSS or XPath depending on whether you want to use CSS or XPath one dot selector. Okay, is it okay? So we will use XPath when we want to get the JSON of the document. Great. Question, other question?
What were we supposed to put in the finder to find the other JSON element of the web page?
Yes, so that's also great. So just think about it as a document, just like a Word document. So if you have everything here, then the word that you are looking for is JSON. Just press Ctrl F here. There is a find, and if you just write JSON, then immediately it's jumping for the JSON object. And if you press again, this is how you parsing with JavaScript the JSON and so on. Yeah, just write JSON, and if you are lucky, then it's likely that you will get some JSON data inside. And another suspicious thing, if you open just an HTML, that look at this slider, look at this, how wide is that? But basically there is no data. So in that case, I suggest just scroll to the end and check where is the data. So it's likely that it will be 1 or 2 line. I couldn't find it. Maybe I was a bit fast. Okay, so did you see? There was. Okay, so that is the data, which is very long, and in that case it's likely it will be a JSON. Okay, but in that case it's not a JSON, it's something totally different, but I don't know why is it in one single line. So yeah, if you are going to work with Shiny, you will know what is that. Okay, so this is how you get the JSON. And now I ask you to open PayScale. Payscale.com, and it's likely that it will ask you to accept cookies and lots of things what you don't want, and it's for you.
Harry, can I see the code one more time, please?
It's just 3 single line XPath. You're just writing the script and you get the HTML text, so it will return with the text, which is great, which is a JSON, and because it is a JSON string, you can write from JSON and it will create a list of it.
Hey Jim, can you copy and paste this on Slack, please? Because it's easier for, I'm using only one computer, it's difficult to keep like tracking
Guys,
all the time.
so, yeah, but guys, just you had to write, I think, less than 20 characters, so please be with me and try to do it.
Okay.
Okay, is it this one, right? Okay, great.
Thanks.
So open PayScale and go, for example, by job title, and try data scientist. Let's search salaries. Okay, did you get the web page, or is it asking you to tell your salaries and giving some ad blocks? Okay, so just going back, if you are just here, or you can just go to IT, or what kind of works is the data scientist is.
Maybe information technology.
Okay, and is there IT technology? Great. Then yes, data scientist here. Great. So it will go to the same site, and you have it. And I give you 2 minutes, or let's say 5 minutes, to find the JSON inside that document and load it into your R session. Okay, and Also try to think about that how could you download the whole database of this data. And I also ask you to put the JSON that you got into this JSON viewer and tell me what is the most interesting data that you find. Because guys, I have to say that I think this is one of the most fascinating data what you can just get from an HTML, because it is huge. And if you are, yeah, I don't want to tell what kind of data you will find inside. I want to ask you to find the most interesting one and share me that what did you find in the data of the HTML. So open the HTML, try to find the JSON, download it and put it to the online JSON viewer and check what is inside. Is it clear? I gave you 5 minutes for that. Did you find any interesting data?
Mishi, can I have a question?
Yes.
That I'm always struggling to find the line in this network window which contains the data. So, you know, when I'm refreshing the page, I get like, I don't know, 162 requests, and which is the line in when I can find the JSON, for example?
Great question. So let me show. If you press F12, refresh again the page.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately there is the salary. So it's very likely the data will be in that one. So I can even stop it recording. And if you click there, there is the header, the preview. And okay, in the preview, it's supposed to load the HTML, but it's not, because maybe it's a bit more complex than it can show. And they just go to response. And look again, it's very suspicious that it is a very wide slider here, and immediately you can recognize that this is a JSON that you are looking
okay, I searched for a longer list, you know, with, or I mean text with more lines, but then the wide matters more, maybe in some
Yes.
cases.
this one. And the other way, if you just press Ctrl F and just write JSON. Come on. Well, and it's going there, and you can see that okay, it is here. And if you click, so it has two JSON. Yes. So what's the difference? So it is called application/ld plus JSON. What is the other one? Come on, go. It's called application/JSON. So that's the difference. And this is how you can change the XPath of that. Okay? So if you have the JSON, so what can you do? Data science is read HTML. Great. And after, what we are going to do, just pipe it. Yes, and we will get the same HTML node, but we could realize that it is on application/JSON. The data is there. Okay, so we change that, and let's see if we got it. Yes, so it is an object. So we have it. It's not null. It is an HTML node. So we can get the HTML text of it. Great. And everything is okay. Should go to from JSON. And salary list. Great. So we have the salary list, which is list of 8. And this is the data that we got. So how can we check it with the online JSON viewer? Because I like that. It's very easy to see the data inside the JSON. So coming back and print it. So if you have a list, you can print a JSON. So you can write, so if here I'm just clearing a few block with Ctrl L, then write to JSON and salary list. You can also write auto unbox should be true, because if the list has some vectors, this is the way how you can make it nicer. And copy. So this is the JSON that you got from the website, and look at this, how big, how much data you got from the HTML. I'm just still scrolling. This is huge. And go here, paste it into the text, and go to viewer, and this is the data that you got. And I ask you to just spend them 1 minute to reach here, and if you reach that, find the most interesting data from that list, because I'm sure some of you will find some cool insight which is not shown on the original website, or it is showed, but you have to click a lot. Or just think about whatever you see here, everything that you see here, it is on the JSON. It is the data that you just downloaded with 2 single lines, and they gave you all the data, everything which is showed here. So is there anyone who finds some cool data inside and want to share?
I think I found skills, and only a couple of skills are shown on the website, while on the JSON there are several skills.
Great, Fanny. Thanks. And where did you find it? So I'm sure that you clicked props, then page props, and what I find really fascinating, there is a career path. So if you coming back to the website, you can see that it has a career path here, right? Just watch my screen, guys. Now this is just, don't code, just watch the screen. It has a career path here, and the data is here. So there is a career path. It has 3 value. So it is called a data scientist. This is the value, and there are children. So that's going to be the career path. And the first one is a senior data scientist, which is this one. Great. And after there is, and it has also children, which has 3 again. Data science director. So if you come in here and you click there is another one, data science director. So you can build a nice graph of it. And the second one was data science manager. Coming back, so that was the second one, and it has also 1 children count 1, and the children is there. So I think it's really fascinating to see this kind of data, and which is way more if you go to page data, and everything is here. So just click to by dimension, and you can find average salary of what I really enjoy, the experience, the employer, and the location. So let's see employer, and that is rows, and look at this guy. So we got how much? 180 employers who are saying the salary, the medium salary. So that is the range, and this is the 50. So this is the average, and the name, the Memory and Sloan Kettering Cancer Center is paying that much, and there is a profile count which say that how many people said the salary, and based on that 5 people the average is that one, and more than, so it's 180 company. So I think this is really cool, and let's say if we can get this data into a data frame.
Can I interrupt you?
Yes.
How did you sign the JSON when you put F12 on the website? Because for me it's invalid JSON format.
Okay. So did you get to here? So you have the salary list, right? Which is very simple, just loading the HTML and getting the XPath of the data, and you have it, and then just write to JSON salary list and auto unbox equal true, and what you got here, just copy paste.
You mentioned that we have 2 JSONs. One is application LD JSON, one is application JSON. What's the difference between them?
The ID. So you're coming back here, press F12, load again. So this is the ID of it. This is how you can select. So Control F, JSON. So if you just write application LD plus JSON, then you will get this data, which is selected here, which is less, and it doesn't contain the page data. Okay, but The other data that you are looking for, which has lots of cool inside, is application JSON. So this is the ID of it. Just think about as an ID. Okay?
But teacher, in that sense, so I could test both of them to check which kind of data there is in one. The first one, JSON, and the second one, right? I mean, like, I can explore this in that sense because one, there's this plus, and the other one is just JSON, right?
LD plus JSON. So no, just think about this is the ID of the content. So this is the JSON that you will get if the XPath, the selector, you select this element.
Okay. Okay.
Just like, you know, here, if you click this one, the ID is this one, pro title link text. Okay, but if you click here, the ID will be different. Okay, so the text, the JSON text that you want to get here, this is the selector, application LD plus JSON, and another one, application slash JSON. Great. So you downloaded the data, you put it into your R script, get the data bit from JSON, and print the data and just copy paste everything to online JSON viewer, and you can see that with by dimension you can get the average salary overall by genre, so you can also compare with the man and the female, and salaries you can also get by location, so you can see easily that how much money can earn a person from New York or Washington or whatever. So in New York there are 926 person who gave the salary to that website, and the average is $102,000 per year. That is in San Francisco. In California it's a bit less people, but they earn more. So you can easily get that where data science can earn the most, and if you just click the rows, you can also see that it has 235 observation, which is a lot. But how can you get the data from here? So if you come here, salary list, dollar, and there is props, then dollar, page props, dollar, page data, dollar, by dimension, I think, yes, by dimension, which is a list, and you can also write dollar by x, let's see, by location, dollar, and the rows, you see immediately it is a data frame, and you just write a view and y. Okay, just write PDF, which is a data frame, and click view, and you can see the data immediately there. What do you think, guys? How fascinating is that? Because I really enjoy. So with a few line of codes you can get every data from pay scale, and from that you can compare different jobs and different cities. Also you can see that how the year of experience going to influence your salary, and you could do amazing and cool analysis with that data. So by skills also, if you have, let's say that the first skill is machine learning, And if you have machine learning skill, then the average is that much. And if you have Python, so you can immediately get that what kind of skills you need if you want to be a data scientist or data analysis and statistical analytics. Everything, guys, it's here. R is the fourth one. And if you can click, can code to R, it's a bit less than if you can code in Python or do some machine learning, but I think it's really cool. Okay, can someone just summarize what we learned? Okay, question.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Like, what's the process behind this? How do you come up with finding these interesting data?
Just opening the web page and just look for it. Look for it. So that's simple. Always, if you load any kind of data, any kind of website, not this one. Where is that? Did I? Oh, it's here. Check the slider, and if it's very wide, very long, then always think that maybe it will be a JSON. And just write Ctrl F JSON, and if you are lucky, that it will have some JSON inside. But so it's always first always try to get the JSON and the API, if there is an API. So very likely you would start to look for the JSON data here in this way, but you will not find it. And even if you are click to XHR, the data will be not here. We can get this one, so it maybe, yes, geotarget. So they immediately check where I am coming from. Wow, that's cool. Let's see. So if I'm just pasting that, immediately it will say that I'm in Budapest. Oh, cool. And when you load the HTML, immediately you will see that some data is coming with salary, and check what you got. So I don't think that if any kind of web scraping project has some predefined steps. It's depending on the site. Okay, but now I have a feeling that I already showed some cool tricks. So for first, just load the HTML and also try to get the CSS path, and a bit more advanced if you are lucky and you can get the JSON. So try to trace the network, see what kind of data is coming, and if you are lucky, then there will be some JSON object coming. But if not, then also you can go a bit deeper to check what is inside that HTML, and always check if there is any kind of JSON. And it's likely you will get some JSON if the data is a bit complicated. For example, here it's not the simplest data. So you know it has lots of features, lots of variables, and that's why it's a bit tricky, and that's why you can expect some JSON. Okay, great. Other question?
For me, the data frame is empty, and it's not clear for me, for example, what is the sign. The job by location is in between. And the other question is how did you put together this line of code, the data frame?
Okay, can you share your screen and we will figure out what is the problem, and I think it will be useful for others as well. Okay, wait, I have to allow you. Okay, and I will stop share. Great. And Bruno, please pay attention, because you will also solve it, just like last time. Okay, great. So what is the problem here?
Just like I did, she's using application ILD plus JSON while you are using just application slash JSON.
Yes. So as I mentioned that there was two types, so delete the LD plus, the salary list, just delete the LD plus before the JSON. In 24, yes, the 24th line, go to, so the type equal application, yes, okay, so as I mentioned there was two JSON.
So this is the other JSON, and that's why it's null, because there are no.
Exactly. But how can you check it? So okay, before to delete that, go to the 30 line and just write salary list and dollar. So never copy paste. Just always press stop. Press stop. What you can see. So this is that you can get from that data. But on that data there was nothing called, just like in mine data. Okay?
Okay, I see.
So now just delete the LD plus, run that line again. Okay, and then go back, delete the skills because it's likely that it not have skills, press stop, and everything is there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Great, thank you for asking. Okay guys, other questions? No questions? Okay, then I will share the screen. So how did you like it? Did you think that
Mihaly, about using $sign to access all these property inside the property inside the property inside the property? So what I understood is, can you open your code?
Okay.
What I understood is salary list actually list of data frames that contain data frames. Am I right? Or
no? So
different?
it is a list which can contain different lists. It can contain vectors. It can contain Boolean values and also data frames. It can contain whatever. So this is a list. And with tab, you can go inside the list. Okay, deeper and deeper. Just think about just like a tree. Okay?
Yes, okay, thank you.
Is it clear? So that was your question?
Yes, my question was this. I was interested in data type of each children.
So look at this. So if there is that, what kind of color? Is it pink? So the pink item, that it is a vector. So if I'm just printing, so that's going to be a single vector. It is a character vector, you can see. If it is this sign, it will be a list, which can be very, very long. So it is a list which has a job property. It is a job which is an element. And press again. And what else we can get data frames. And you could see the difference. Okay, great. Okay, someone please share any idea if your task would be to download all the data of the pay scale. So I'm almost sure that you know that the company has a huge value, and the value of the company is the data which is showed here. And you can, how would you download it? What would be the steps? Anyone? So go to pay scale for you, and I would go with by job title. Someone?
You mean all the data for
Yes.
all the professions?
All the professions, all the jobs listed
Okay.
on that page, that pay scale.
So probably you would want to map out what titles there are, first of all. So that's the child of, for example, accounting and finance, that what are the jobs that are there. But once we basically get to the same page for each position, from there we can collect the JSON and we can deparse the JSON to whatever you want,
Exactly.
depending on the
So
analysis.
the first task would be that getting the HTML, getting the links from this one. So that's simple. So just download that data. So don't have to code, just check it. Just see what I'm doing. So read HTML. Okay, then pipe it. Notes. Okay, coming back here. These are the items. So great, you have the links, not the links. Then you are piping and try to find href HTML attribute, href. I'm not sure if it will be in this way. No. Then you also have to check that how can you get, or where are the actual links. So click here, inspect, and yes, so the class is this one and it has an href attribute. So coming back to the code, and if it's a class, then it starts with a dot href attribute and it will have href. Great. So you have the big cards. So for that you are going to write a function which open everything, open every single element, and from here you basically downloading every single link in this way. So you call the first thing that you collect all the links which open an actual salary report, and if you have all the links, then download every link, get the JSON out of it, save it, and you are done. And after your data is there, you can put together and you can do any kind of great analysis. So with a few lines of code you can basically download everything from the pay scale. And yes?
Sorry, won't the site block you while you're doing this?
It's likely, yes.
And how can you maybe work around that?
I think you cannot. So if you download a bit less data or just waiting, so with the for loop you can also write sys.sleep, let's say random 5 seconds or anything, but it's also possible that they will not block you, because basically you can just download HTMLs. Okay.
Ali, regarding blocking, you mentioned the idea about sys and then every 5 seconds. I'm gonna look about that. It's really interesting. But I think we had a class in data engineering, and Miklos Koren said Hungarian municipality website blocked them, and when they asked it, they included exclusion in their robots.txt, so that whenever they obtain some kind of CUnit work request, they will be fine with that. Do you think robots.txt is a good idea to avoid blocking?
I'm not sure, so I have never met with this kind of things. Yeah, so if you are blocked,
robots.txt is only a suggestion, and it is for the users and web scrapers to see which pages they are allowed to crawl to and index. So they didn't. What Miklos said was that I think they updated the robots.txt because of pages that they didn't want to to get scraped, and they added to a whitelist the CU IP address maybe.
Okay, great, thanks. So the next task, so just so that would be a great project. So if any of you would decide that, okay, I want to download all the salary data from the pay scale and putting everything together with some data frames. So one data frame could be the salary report for by location, the other could be by experience, the third data frame also by companies. That would be amazing, and I'm almost sure that if some of you would do that, and let's say that you will also share with Koran Miki or any other guys, then they would be a bit amazed that with a few line of codes you are able to produce that valuable data. Okay, so just some of you just think about it, and if more people would do that, the fastest we'll get the, the opportunity to download that nice, amazing data. Cool. The next task is just download the EU fundings, because we are at CU. Sorry, I'm going to show it in the Hungarian version, but if you are coming from the from Europe, then I'm almost sure that you also have this kind of website where you can trace that what are the projects which got fundings from EU. So I can paste the website from Slack. So that's the website, and these are the projects that was funding, and if you click here for the next one, it's downloading a bit more data, right? And your task is that try to find the data source, where the data is coming from. Is it in an HTML? Is it in an HTML? Is it a JSON inside an HTML? Or is it an API which sends you some data when you are clicking for the next one? Okay? Give you 2 or 3 minutes to find it, and after I will show how can you download it with, let's say, a few clicks, and you don't even have to write any code, or just a very little code. Is it clear?
Teacher, this is something that could be really useful looking for the JSON in that situations, because you change for the other page and it didn't change the address to search for it. So
okay.
I kind of faced this a lot when I was trying to find a website to scrape. You know, without the JSON would be like much more difficult to do that. I mean,
yes, thanks. Great. So it's very likely that the data is coming with a JSON, and you just have to find the API for that. So the endpoint, and you will able to get the data immediately to our session. And is there anyone here from a different country from Europe, and also could just check or just show that what is the website where you can find that kind of projects, or the list of the project which got funded? that would be really interesting to see, and we could also try, let's say, spend 5 minutes to figure out if if the situation is same. So if the data is coming there with some JSON.
My one doesn't open the website.
You cannot open from Brazil?
No.
Yes. Okay. Sorry about it.
No worries. I'm trying to find like some other links on Google.
Then watch the screen and I will share how I'm looking for the data when I'm facing with this kind of issue. So guys, please watch the screen what I'm doing now. So I'm press F12 as usual and just click for the next one, and you can see that it's not that much data was coming. So there's a count by post, which is a number which is equal with the all projects. So just think about it as a data frame and the length of the data frame. So that much project was founded, and there is a find too. Immediately you can see that the data is here, and this is going to be very important what I'm going to show now. So please watch the screen, do not do anything, okay? So if you click to find to anything which is coming to your browser through network, so in the network tab you can see what is that. So this is a post request, so there are get and post requests. The get is easier, so it is just basically pasting the parameters with an and symbol, and with post you can do a bit more complex stuff. So for example, post a JSON just like you see here. So there is a JSON filter which is post to that URL, and it will return with that data. So just think about it, just like you write a SQL query for a web server and it will return with some data. But it's a bit different. So there is an endpoint which you are passing some filter. It will filter the data and return with the result. And look at this, it is very important. Just right click, just watch it, and then you will do it later. And copy as CURL. And in your, if you are using Windows, there will be CURL bash and this kind of things. So just copy as CURL. And there is a website which called curltrillworks.com. And okay, what you copied here, if you open a terminal, you copied the curl command, and the curl command looks like this one. So you are going to send the headers for that URL, and there is a data row. So basically you are passing a JSON object to that URL, and the data is coming back immediately as a JSON. So this is the JSON. So if you have copy as curl command, you can paste the curl command to that website. I will post to the Slack that website, and immediately you can get the Python, the R, the MATLAB, the Node.js code. And if you click to R, then just Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and paste the whole code here. And this is that you got without any coding. So it created the headers, And this could be very painful if you have some cookies that you want to include, because you don't have to copy, just copy as curl, paste to that website, and just and you immediately get the headers and the data list. So just run that few line. I'm just running, then you will have time for do it. Okay, and there is a data, and just write result, and immediately you can see that the result is a response, and the response, if the status of the response is 200, that's great. So whenever you are post or get something, you always have to get the text of the result of the result of the post. So just write content. You want the result, the content of the result, and write text. That's all that you have to remember. And if it is an HTML document, then you can write read HTML, and if it is a JSON, so let's run it. You can see that it is a JSON object. You can write from JSON. And if it would be a text, an HTML text, then just write read HTML. Okay, and TDF, and the data is here 100 observation, and you can see the data showed here. It's way more and way more structured, just like showed on the original website. Again, it's really nice. And if you click, then immediately you can see every data which is included, but it's hidden. And look the query. Look at the query, please, just on my computer and on the screen. Any idea how could you get all the data with one single query?
You can change the limit from the filter.
Yes, great. So, and look at, it's very important to different. So what is the difference between the skip and the limit parameter?
But you moved a couple pages, no? So skip was, where did you start from?
Yeah, so yes, that's the skip. So I skipped the first few sides because I was clicking a few next page. But what's the difference between the skip and the limit parameter here?
Limit is how much results do you see in a page, right?
Yes, but the difference is the 50 is a string. Look at that. It is an apostrophe. And the limit is a number. It's not in apostrophe. Okay, but actually everything is a string here, but it is evaluated as a JSON, and it will evaluate as a number. So if I'm just try the 5, and I'm just writing here a huge number. So normally, if they think about it, then they supposed to have some limit, but you will see that they don't, or maybe they do have, because actually I'm sure that they doesn't, but maybe that was a bit too much number.
Michael, did you want to use 0 or 5 for skip?
Skip for 0. So I downloaded everything before the class, but maybe that's also too much number, so let's save it. So it has 50,000, less than 50,000, okay? Yes. And it's still just...
I think it's just 5,000 because you remember it was 4,000.
Yes,
something.
yes, last 50. But it's still returning with just the 100. Let me check So I did it before the class and it was working. It gave back everything into one single line. Yes, but I did it in a bit different way, so I will just copy and I will share the code after. So instead of this way, you can also create that list with JSON. So the nice thing here that you can reproduce that filter here. So there's a filter and it will be a JSON object just like this one. So that's the filter. You can see. Okay, but let's try one. So what is the difference? I think there is no difference, but it will download everything. So it will send the post request and then I will get the content and the text, and you can see that my data has every single line of the database. Okay, so great. So you can create the JSON just like in this way, and you can put it into a list, and when you are posting to that URL, just write body should be equal with the JSON, and you also have to use encode equal JSON. And what is verbose equal true? Verbose info equal true. It will show the steps what the curl is doing. So if I delete this verbose, then it will not write anything here, just returning with the data. So you will see that when you have the verbose info equal true, it says that it's connecting to that web pages, and it's open the ports, get the certificates, it has a handshake, everything what happened behind the skins in the servers. So if you get some errors, just always write verbose info equal true. In that case, you will see that what was the steps created with your post or get request. Okay?
What is the data type of T?
T is a list. So just like here, the result, so you are posting something and it is a list. So response $, and you can see that it is a list. You can see it has URL, headers, all header, cookies, content, and the content actually is the JSON. So this is the binary JSON. Okay. But the very important thing that I wanted to show, and it makes your life really easy if you are here pressing F12 and you finally found the data source that you want, just right click, copy as curl, and then go to curl till works and paste the URL, the command here, and you get the R code. Okay, now I give you some times to try it out yourself. Can you open that website and try to reproduce what I have created? So with just with that one, with the copy paste. Okay, I will share the website on Slack. Curl till works. Oh, no. Great. you have question, then ask me. And please try to reproduce.
Can you show your code, please?
Yes. So but this one is, I didn't write anything of that. I just copy pasted, and that's why I want you to do the same. So let me show again the steps. If you find the data source, right click, copy as CURL, and if you're using Windows, then it will show like copy as CURL bash, and this is that you have to copy. And if you have it, go to curl tailworks, paste the curl command here, and then just have the R code here, just Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and this is that you get from there. And from there, yes, maybe that can be a question. Then always use content, and you want to get the content of the result that you got from the post request. Always get the text of it, and if you have it, and if you know that it is a JSON, you can get everything with from JSON. If it is an HTML, just write read HTML, and it's actually the same. So when you are writing read HTML and passing a URL, is going to make a post or get request to that web service and get the data as a HTML document.
Can you scroll down to the other code which you wrote before class that returns every single point?
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I think it would be difficult to code it. So this is I can share on Slack. And of course, after everything will be on GitHub. Yes, and it's very interesting that it's not working with this one. So I don't know what is basically the difference between these two.
Encode.
Sorry?
Encode JSON. Encode JSON.
Yes, that's one.
I tried that and that wasn't the problem.
Yes, I also
And
tried.
that's because I think it's not a JSON with the curl trailer, or I don't know. That's not a JSON, right?
The one thing that we can check, use verbose equal true. So let's run the two things and check the difference. So this is that yes, I think the name filter attachment, maybe with this one you can see say change 2020. So because of the accent.
Mihaly, what was our task? Sorry.
Here, just find the data source and copy paste the curl command, paste it to curl tailworks, and get the data into our session. Okay? Did you manage to get the data?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Great. And in this way, let's check if the result is still, yeah, it's still just 70 kilobyte. Okay, great. So this is how can you get with a few line of codes the whole database of that website. And I think it's a good example that how can you think of any web page which just showed some information with a table structure, and you can get it with really easy, with a few line of codes. Great. And in the next 10 minutes I want to show that how can you create a Slack robot. So basically we just have to use the post request, and I try to have in this workplace, but I couldn't add any. Oh, it's great. Okay, we will see what encode equal JSON. Thank you, Dominic. Great. So in that workplace I could not manage to add anything, but I have a different Slack workplace, and is it free? You can create as much as you want. So just please watch the screen, and after I will also share the code, and then later you can also try it at home. I think you will enjoy that. So here I have some channels, and I will add a new channel. Create a channel, scraping demo will be the name. Okay, I created the channel, and in more there is an add app tab, and you can add application to that Slack channel just writing webhook. Yes, it's called incoming webhooks, and view, and you can add configuration. So you are going to add an application to the Slack channel and add to Slack. Okay, and here you have to select that which channel do you want to add, and what was that? Scraping demo. That's the channel, and I'm going to add this incoming webhooks, and that's all. So I have the webhook URL. Okay, so what can you customize here? So there is message attachment, so that's the there is a label and the name, the customized name that I am CU robot. That's going to be the name of that, and I'm save it. Okay, and there is a webhook URL. If I'm just copy the URL. Okay, and so here is the URL, and very simple thing that you have to do is you just have to create a post request, which looks like in this way. So I'm just copy and I explain. So there is a header which you have to say that the content type will be application JSON, and the data will be a list which contain the text that you want to send. And let's say that I write that my text should be hello, see you. That will be the text that I want to post, and if I'm just running the data, you can see that it is a JSON, the text hello, see you, and I have to create that post request to the webhook URL and adding the header and the body, the data. So I'm changing that webhook URL that I got, and immediately I can see that there is a scraping demo, and I'm a CU robot, and it's written that hello CU. Why is it good? Tell me some use cases where you can imagine that it will be useful. So yeah, and of course, if you want to interact with Slack, and also I think it's also working with Teams and with lots of uh, bigger messaging application, it's very likely that there is an API for that um, already written. So just write Slack send message with R, and there will be immediately an article, and there is a package which is called Slack Air, and there will be lots of useful descriptions. How can you integrate, and you can. So basically, there are already written functions where you just have to specify your API keys, and you can interact with any channel. But I wanted to show that which is the baseline of that. So at the end, that package is going to create a post request, and it will post a text. It will post a JSON which include a text object. Okay. So that's simple.
So right now, what we do with REST is actually request, right? Or is it response?
No, we just created a post request. Yes. And you can also write here that verbose true, verbose info equal true. Then you can see what's happening. Okay, and you can see that what is the result. It is a text HTML. Okay, but let's check what is the result. So content result. So I expect that it's coming back something odd. Ok. Yeah. So that's the feedback which is written. So that was a request. So I posted a message to that webhook URL, and I got the text. And what can I do if I
Did I understand? I'm sorry. Did I understand correctly? REST variable is responsible to show the response message after your post request. Am I right?
Exactly, and you can see that the message is just ok. That's the message.
Okay.
And another thing, just write the function for that post to Slack demo, and it will have a my text variable, put everything together inside the function, and immediately you just have a very simple function which can post to Slack from the function, and immediately you can also get the notification on your mobile. So tell me some use cases where you can imagine that it's going to be useful.
One useful robot in Slack that I like is reminding you, for example, if I want to send you a message after 8 hours, it reminds you wanted to send a message. That's the useful robot I know.
Yes. So for example, I have on my virtual machine that it's running every single hour, and it's sending me some interesting messages, interesting what is that charts which maybe will be useful. So for example, the relative strength index is under 15, which means that it is really oversold, that that stock. And if I click there, immediately it showed the chart of that ticker. If is there any or not in this way. Okay, so for example, oversold that ticker, hopefully it will show some chart. Yes. Okay, so for example, that one can be a use case, and the nice thing that you can do it with R. So you can automate a script which is running in every single hour. It will check something, and if you can also program with an if statement. If something happened, then send me a message. Okay, great. Questions? Then if not, then talk about the assignment. So in the assignment I want to see that you find the website and you get the most of the data from that website. So for example, this pay scale can be a great one. Then we also check the cars. I'm not sure what was the URL of that. So you can download every car specification, or it can be also the yacht specification, or I saw some of you already started to play with Jófogás or websites which are selling some goods. So download everything from any website, but before you start it, drop me an email that hey, I want to download this data, so this web page, and I want to analyze the price or just anything, just plotting some chart of it. And the important thing will be the data cleaning part. So especially if you are working with an HTML, the data cleaning would be difficult and hard. But if you choose a project which works with JSON, so for example, that data, it's a way cleaner because it is in JSON format, it is numbers, and these are string. Yeah, so this kind of data, it's a bit cleaner. So drop me an email, and if you have if I approved that, okay, maybe I already got some email. Oh, not market, sorry, it's not good. So if I approved, then please put it into the Excel that I already shared with you. So write your name, write your website that you are going to download, and that's all. Okay, so let me check.
And what is the deadline for your second assignment?
You have to finish so on Monday, so before the last class, which is so we have 2 more class, right? And on Monday, which is 14th of December. Okay. Okay, so the deadline is going to be on Monday, 14th of December. Yes, so that's going to be our last class. So 14 December, Monday at midnight. I will put it everything to the GitHub, and the description and the task will be also there. Okay. Great. Other question? If no question, guys, then I thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed the pay scale data, and I really hope that from now you are looking a bit different way for any web page that you open. Okay, thank you for joining, and have a lovely night.
Mishi, if you have 1 more minute, I might have one more question. It's probably not interesting for
Okay,
the
okay,
others.
I'm stop recording. Great.
Annie, can I interrupt you?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. Mihaly, can you say that we already have all the knowledge for our projects that we should submit for 14th of December, or we should learn something else to do that project? How do you
I
think?
think you have every knowledge that you need to submit. Okay?
Okay.
So write me your idea